Good afternoon and welcome to Crafting by Moonlight. This afternoon I will be creating from scratch a tri-fold invitation that you can use for any party. It does not have to be an Alice in Wonderland party. It can be anything that you would like. Baby showers, weddings, or even just a 21st birthday, something special if you'd like. I do apologize now. I do have a 5-month-old kitten and he is going to be very loud and noisy, mainly because I'm doing a tutorial, and that's how kids are. So this tutorial, just to let you know, is going to be a step-by-step. There are no steps skipped. That way you will complete an actual card by the end of this tutorial. So for those of you that do craft often, bear with me. For those of you that don't, it's going to be okay. Just take your time. Pause it, rewind it as much as you need to, and in the end you will have a beautifully done invitation. So let's get started. One of the things that we're going to be doing and using is we're going to use, for this purpose, I'm using 2 different types of cardstock. Now, for your first time out, you may not want to do that. But for me, I actually do want to do that because I want to give it a nice, different, multi-layered look. And then we're going to put white copy paper on top of that. So as you see, we have this multi-layered, pretty look that we're going to go ahead and do. Bring that into the light a little bit. And then also we're going to be using something different other than our go-to, which is glue dots. I do not have my runner up and running, but that's okay because I kind of didn't want to. I want to try something different, which is we're going to use the spray adhesive. There it is. We're going to use the spray adhesive today. I'm going to show you how to work with that. So let's get started. So first things first, you've seen how it's going to be laid out. Now what I would like to do is actually walk you through the cutting process. If you do not have a cutter, which is, mine is a Friscar's, and I've used it before. If you do not have a cutter, please go out and get one. Not only will you have the straight lines that you need, but also it makes it a little bit faster, a little bit easier. If not, you're going to have to do this all by hand, and that's not fun. It's going to add to your time a lot more than you need it to. So first things first, I actually already pre-cut these, and since I pre-cut these, I want to make sure I know what my dimensions are. So this one is actually 3 3/4 of an inch, or 3 3/4. And then it's also by 10. It's supposed to be by 10.5, but it's just shy of 10.5, which is okay. That's not a big deal. That one little fraction is not going to matter. So what you can do is, usually you might want to try to grab a sticky. I happen to keep a whole pad of them in my desk for occasions like this. And you want to write W for white, and then you want to write 3 3/4 by 10. Okay, so that way you know what you're doing. Now, your next color, you do not have to use the teal. Like I said, you can do this for weddings, you can do this for anything that you want to do, a very special invitation for something, even if it's just private. So if you are using 3 colors, go ahead and make sure you write down the dimensions for each color. If you're only using 1, you can write down the dimensions for 1, and I'll actually show you how to do that in a second. So for our teal, we have 4 inches. So I'm going to write T for teal, and we have 4 by, this one is 10 3/4. 10 3/4. And then this one is actually it's supposed to be 4.5, but it's not. It's 4 1/4. by 11. So purple is 4¼ by 11. Now I wanted to make these as simple as possible, only because, you know, if you've never crafted before, or math's not your strongest suit, which it's not mine, I want to make it simple for you guys. But if you are going to, just real quick, if you're going to only use one color for your outside and then your white copy paper, the teal dimensions that I gave you, which was 4 by 10�3, will work just fine. And it'll kind of look something like this. Okay. So it's okay. It's a little bit more simplistic. That's okay. Especially if you're doing this for a kid's party. Maybe that's the route that you want to go, is just a one-sheeter, whatnot. I'm doing this mainly for you guys, so I'm going to do it a little bit fancier. This would be your 21 birthday party or your 30th birthday party, something like that. So now we're going to go ahead and cut. Like I said, this is a step-by-step. I know. We're already at 6 minutes and you're going, oh my god, this is going to take too long. It is. This is going to be a long process, but I actually want to take my followers and people that need this help. I want to take this and actually do this all the way. So one of the things that we're going to need is some parchment paper, which I happen to have. So we don't need it now. We're going to need it when we spray. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and do our white. And we have our little cheat sheet so we know how wide it needs to be. Now, because my Friscars, which you can't see up here because I actually have it facing you, but it does have numbers down at the bottom. Up at the top, it has the pull out. So as you can see, this is the top portion, and it goes on further. Now, unfortunately, I have 2. This is actually 3, so I have to try to eyeball it as close as I can get it. I like to keep my cutter down at the bottom and run it up for a few different reasons, because 1, I can actually see what I'm doing, and 2, it's a little bit easier. Okay, so we have 3 3/4, so we're going to take it all the way to almost the 4-inch mark. Make sure it's even and flushed up against this. Try to tilt this up a little bit. Okay, so we're going to try to keep this as even up here as possible, because if it's slighted in any way, it's not going to cut straight, and then you're going to have a wonky line. So now we're going to run our runner. There we go. That's why I'm saying a paper cutter is actually a worthwhile investment, mainly because you can do this a lot quicker, a lot faster. You can do a tutorial with it, which makes it easier. But it's just generally, it makes your life a lot easier. I actually purchased this when I was doing a lot of couponing. I did it for the coupons because I got sick and tired of trying to cut them out all the time. So throw that to the cat, so then the cat will be entertained. Okay, so now we're going to cut it again, but this time we're cutting it this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to push that down, and I'm going to slip this in. Now my cutter actually has a guiding wire that guides me to the right where my cutter's going to go. And you want to get a running start because you want a clean, smooth edge, especially if your cutter is dull like mine is. And then discard your pieces. Okay, so we now have the white done. Let's go ahead and do a teal. And then I don't have any purples cut because I already cut the purples, but it's the same method. But just so that you guys get it, we're going to go ahead and move that down. And then we're going to move this all the way to 4. So unfortunately the 4 is like right on this weird arm part, so that kind of makes it hard. But there you go, 4. and we need to cut that again. So let's do a second cut for this. We're going to 4. Like I said, you're going to run it. I like to hold the back part of it because it kind of holds it down. Your cutter's not going to go anywhere. Now, what it will create is these weird raised edges, which you can't really see with the camera, which is unfortunate. But when you do have a cutter, so when you do cut, don't flip it over because then you're going to have a weird edge on the other side. You want to keep all your weird edges on one side of the paper because that'll be the piece that goes down onto the other side so nobody sees it. Okay, so now we need to cut this at 10 3/4. The thing is we cannot do this together. With the copy paper, you can actually do that, but with this one, you can't. You need to actually put it down one piece at a time. So now we're going to go to 10 3/4, and even though I said start at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and start at the top and cut that up. And then we're going to slide the next one in and repeat the process. Once we have this all done and it's all cut, we can start to assemble. The only thing I'm not doing today, even though this is a step-by-step tutorial, is I'm not going to do the stamps, which is something I'll do later, only because I didn't grab a stamp pad. That's okay, because it's different. This is where you're going to get creative and you're going to explore and do the things that you want to do on yours. Now, as we can see, some of these were not cut properly. So you can do two things. You can use your scissors and go ahead and cut them, or you can just leave them the way they are. And I do apologize if the cat does come down onto the desk because he just might do it. Okay. So let's go ahead and assemble. So what we're going to do is we need our parchment paper. And we need to put our colors in the right order. So I don't know if you can see this line. I'm going to try to... Okay, see that line right there? That's actually a raised line. So that's what I was talking about when I said that you need to make sure that your raised lines all go the right way. So if I remove these two and try to just flatten it. Okay, so that line is raised, and so you can't do it when you turn the camera sideways. But the darkness of it, you can kind of see. That line is that pronounced because it's raised. So that one's actually going to be on the inside only because this is our outside. So what you can do is you can try to like run your thumbnail over it. You could try to do a little bit of cutting. I wouldn't suggest that. Just, you know, kind of run your thumbnail over it, or you could even try to take like a nail file maybe and just kind of run it over and smooth it down a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's just one of those things when you start crafting and paper crafting, you know, you kind of tend to become a perfectionist. And there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of artists are perfectionists that way. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and cover our workspace. We'll move these up out of the way. And this is an extremely large piece for a reason, because unfortunately spray glue has a tendency to get everywhere. So I don't really want it on my keyboard, but I'm going to have to because my keyboard's going to have to be the stopper. So what we'll try to do is we'll try to keep it over here as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we are not going to spray our teal and our purple. Well, we'll spray our teal, but we're not spraying our purple at all. With the white, you're going to spray it on the white first. And the reason why is because if we spray it on the white and then transfer it to the teal, and then spray the teal and transfer it to the purple, that'll keep the sticky tack down. This crafting glue does not dry. It stays sticky. It stays tacky for many, many years. So I don't want a lot on there. And that was almost too much. I don't want a lot on there because the thing is that's going to stay sticky for a long time, and I need it to try to, and see, the other problem is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spray my teal as well, and then we'll remove this. So find your lifted edge. I have my lifted edge. Unfortunately, it's right near my keyboard. You want to try to get the edges as best as you can without getting it all over everything. Okay, so now I have that done. I'm going to remove this. Sorry for the noise. I do apologize. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I did spray my teal instead of doing the white, then putting the teal down, which you might have to do. You might want to do this out in a ventilated area, not inside your house, but it does happen. So it's okay. Just be mindful of it. It is an aerosol, so it does stink. Okay, this one looks pretty good. It does have a bit of an edge, but that's okay. Not too worried about it. We'll go ahead and place that on the inside. Somebody's really not going to notice. Now, we're going to flip this over. I want to lay this down as flat as possible, as straight as possible. We're going to go straight down with it. And this is going to take a lot of practice. Do not think that you're going to get this done overnight and be perfect. Even now, this is actually perfect, but I know that I'm going to wind up messing up the white when I put it down. So, it takes a lot of practice. Now, see, here's the problem. Since we use the copy paper and we use the spray, I'm actually going to leave that off. You guys may not be able to see. There you go. This is the front side. This is the top side that I did not spray. And look at what you can see. So I'm actually going to go ahead and fold this piece of paper up because that's not going to do me any good. I don't like that. It's not my thing. So what you would want to do for the white then is use your tape runner. Or you can just keep it the way it is. I mean, that's still pretty nice. And it's pretty seeable, right? So why don't we just leave this one the way it is. We'll leave off the white. And we're going to go ahead and stamp it the way we want to. So first things first, I actually want to put my creases in. That way I can see how it's going to fold. Now with a trifold, I'll put the cap back on this. Move this out of the way. Okay. With a trifold, what we're going to do is basically bring this up enough to that where this folds over and it leaves a little bit. So the way I did these for my 30th birthday is, I think I put something about follow the white rabbit, and then I had a white rabbit down here. And then up here I had a clock, and it says don't be late, or something to that effect. So that's basically what we're going to do here. Now, the reason why I did not want you to use glue dots is because the tape runner and the spray glue will give you a nice even coating so that this does not flip up. The problem with this is that this is it's temporary or permanent, works with multiple surfaces, and is acid free, which is okay, but temporary is the problem because you don't want this to bubble up inside and then start shifting every time you open it or close it. So that's why you either use a tape runner or you use the spray adhesive. Don't use regular Elmer's glue. I or Mod Podge. It's great, but it's actually going to cut back. It's going to make you spend more time trying to put them together than it will for you getting them done. And in a situation like this, especially if your birthday is coming up, the birthday party's coming up, you don't have a lot of time. These do take quite a bit of time. I'm actually getting these done so I can take them to my daughter's class to give them to her friends. Okay, so now that I've folded them, so as you could see while I was talking, I did a long fold and then a short fold. You want this to be about, I'll go ahead and measure it for you. Your opening is about 2.5 inches, almost 3. You can make it 3, that's fine. Your middle opening is a little over 4 inches. So that's how you want to start judging these, because like I said, you want it big enough that you can write on this. Not to mention the fact that you're going to be putting something on the front. Now these will close with a stamp or a sticker or a seal or whatever, but I made these a while back, and I don't know where the rest of them went, because this is what happens when my daughter gets a hold of things. Okay, the rest of them are probably safely tucked away somewhere. So I made these a while back, and they're out of the same color teal as we have on the inside, which is good for us. So, and I'm actually going to put them right here with a black, I haven't decided, but I believe I'm going to do the black ribbon. Usually I do like 2 little black ribbons that hang down. I may not this time, just because, one, because of how fast I need to get these done, and 2, because, you know, when you're using the glue dots, it's a little bit harder. So anyways, you want to, if you want to do a stamp here, great. If not, you can write your invited. Now you can get really, really technical and kind of like make sure it's all even. But the way I write, I can never really judge it until it's on there. So unless I do it in pencil, there's no point. Okay, so this, we want to take our little circle, and actually we need to put read me on it, because since it's Alice in Wonderland themed, everything has either read me, eat me, drink me on it. So we want that, because that's what's going to happen is I'm going to put them right there like that with the read me on it. We'll put a little exclamation point, and then we will glue dot this. And put it off to the side. Okay, we're going to open this up, and so if you want to put a stamp on the inside here and writing up here, or vice versa, you want to keep it above that line. You want to keep it in your upper area, not down here. So if you do a stamp like a rabbit, you're going to want to put it all the way up here on this purple, not on the teal, but on the purple. Okay, and then write whatever you're going to write. So this one, it will be, I think I'm going to put the stamp up here. It's kind of like the opening stamp. I like to do that sometimes. And then we're going to put here, follow the white rabbit. Follow the white rabbit. Okay. For a fun day. You can hear my cat is ruining everything I own. Okay, so then inside, you want to put your when, where, all your information, whose birthday party is it, da, 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 things like that. And then you can add more stamps. I actually happen to have an Alice in Wonderland stamp, so that's something that I'll probably put down at the bottom. I also have a clock stamp, which it happens to be a pocket watch. So that one I'll probably put down at the bottom, and I'll angle it so it looks crooked, and then I'll put "Don't be late." I also have these teacups, coffee cups, teacups, whatever you want to call them. I have these as well that I'll use throughout the rest of this. So, and then, once again, I will seal it with the sticker. Okay? So that's it. We're at 26 minutes. That is the full thing. I'm stopping it here only because this is where you get creative. You know, you do whatever you want to do. I usually like to try to put my whole bulk of information here. And then, like I said, I'll usually put a stamp here and then a stamp down here so that the information flows within here. And then I'll put the pocket watch over here. And then the little "Don't be late" down here. Your RSVP here. So, just to give you an idea, we'll go ahead and this stamp will be up here. So you might want to put "Follow the White Rabbit" and then put the child's birthday or your birthday to so-and-so's birthday party. So in this case, since we've already messed this up, what we'll do is we'll put this here, and then I'll put "Follow the White Rabbit." And then we'll have this one here. We'll have this one down here. So we'll put date, times, address, and then we'll leave this, and then you can put RSVP by date here, phone number, see you there. And then this one, like we said, will go this way. probably go like that. And then we'll put don't be late. There you go. That's it. Simple, easy, 30 minutes, but we got a card from start to finish, including cutting. I think that's a win-win situation. So that's it. Thanks for watching. I hope your cards turned out great. If you liked it, like the video. If you actually do this and you use this tutorial, do me a favor. Post me a picture of how yours turned out. I'd love to see those in the comment box. That's it. My name is Alice. This is Crafting by Moonlight. Thanks for watching. See you next time.